Hey guys, so you might be wondering whether or not you can be with a partner who is not spiritual if you're spiritual in yourself or if you're starting to go down that journey. The fast answer is yes, you can be with a partner who's not spiritual. But it definitely depends on the individual that you're talking about. Throughout my own experience, I've found that it is important to have a very key relationship quality between yourself and your partner, which is acceptance. If the person can't accept you or you can't accept your partner for the things that they enjoy, the belief systems that they have, then ultimately you guys are on two different wavelengths. But it's not uncommon for a lot of people who are journeying on their spiritual explorations to find that their long-term relationships may come to a halt, or there is just this period of disconnect between self and your partner. And I talk about this during my crash course, Eternal Beginnings, and the stages of awakening and stages of development. And what happens in that place of disconnection between yourself and your partner is just a readjustment and reassessment period. So it's like you've moved into a different frequency. As you're moving into the light, you're going to find that there is some separation in ways because you are finding yourself again. And during that period, you may feel a little bit alienated towards or with your partner, but ultimately, if you have the same values and the same amount of acceptance together, then of course you can be with a partner who is not spiritual. On the other hand, again, like I've had the experience of both sides where I've had partners that are spiritual and then also partners who have not been spiritual. And I think it comes down to acceptance of self as well, because if your partner isn't spiritual, one thing that a lot of people can get trapped into, and I myself have done it before, but I'll never do it again, is that because my partner didn't accept that side of me, I hid it. And I put all of my stuff away. I put all of my crystals away, my books, and anything that was relating to the spirit realm was hidden at the cost of my authenticity. And so rather than just accepting that we had different values and belief systems, I hid a part of myself. And eventually, as time went on, I felt as though I had lost parts of me because I was hiding so much of myself. I was hiding the things that I enjoyed the most. So if your partner isn't on the same wavelength with you, then there has to be a form of acceptance either from you or them, and ultimately, if not, to part. But in short, absolutely, you can definitely be with a partner who is not spiritual. In the case of when you're going through that disconnection period, and like I said before about this stages of awakening and the stages of development, if there are times where you find yourself in that period with your partner, you've gone down your journey and you've started to disconnect, and just remember that it is a reevaluation period, and as you guys will come apart, what you're also doing is evaluating and letting your partner have space to, I guess, heal and to find out whether or not they are coming along for the journey. But remember that their journey may not look like yours. Like, you may want to share it with them and share everything with them, but what they see fit and resonant to them and their life is what they will embrace. So as long as you can find that acceptance and what they're willing to open up to, then you're good. But just don't try to change anybody and don't try to change yourself for that fact. At the end of that period, after you've reassessed and you've had sort of this separation and disconnection, just remember it's a very healthy space where you're learning things and you're doing things in a different way. you're focusing on your energy and your belief systems, and this other person is walking beside you, and you're not quite sure whether or not they are coming along for the journey, just hold faith and remember that everything is going to turn out the way that it should. And sometimes that period can be a matter of months. Sometimes it could be a year where your slight separation and disconnection happens. But that gives your partner the opportunity to grow and to find out whether or not they're going to raise their own frequencies in order to come with you forward. So yeah, just remember that is to accept yourself, accept your partner for where they're at, and you can 100% stay in a relationship with somebody who isn't spiritual, but don't ever lose yourself and your authenticity based on somebody else's belief systems and somebody else's desires, because that will hurt you more than anything, and you don't want to do that. Don't put yourself under a rug. Okay? All right. So that's a little bit on that question. If you guys have any other questions around can I be with a a partner that's not spiritual, or if you have any questions around how to deal with a particular issue with your spiritual desires and that disconnect between yourself and your partner. One last thing I will say is that often your partner will stay. You guys will go through that period, and it will just be a period of growth, and in that growth you find a new way of connecting together at the end. So all hope is not lost in all circumstances. Okay, all right, feel free to ask any questions if you need to.